Good evening and welcome to Let's Talk Business. Wherever you may be or however you may be listening, thank you for tuning in. Tonight, I'm very excited. It's the first show for April, which means we are starting our special for the month. My wife likes to call it their journey to the land of milk and honey. So basically what it is, we will be talking to successful business owners, learning about their journey in getting their business started and becoming successful, what inspired them to take this journey and to get some insights to their success. For this month, we're going to take a quick break from the roadmap so we can have more time with our guest. I love sports, so I try to use sports stories all the time. So here's one for you. When Tom Brady moved to Tampa Bay from New England, they won a Super Bowl. And when they were asking the owners of Tampa Bay, they said that, our goal was to win a Super Bowl. We needed somebody to show us how to do it, somebody who's done it. It's the same thing here. If you are looking into opening a business, or if you have a business now and you want to continue to grow it, the best way is take a look and maybe learn from people that have done it and have done it well. So I'm really excited. We'll have our first guest tonight. I'll be introducing you to her in a bit. But first, of course, we're going to start with some of the tips to keep your business successful, or ways to ensure that your business is successful. A couple of weeks ago, I did tips on starting your business. So this one, business is starting, it's rolling. Now, how do we keep it successful? All right. So number one, know your customer or target market. This is vital to your success. You've identified them during your business plan, so you know who they are. Continue to be proactive in getting feedback through surveys or regular communication with them. Are you satisfying their needs? Is there something that you need to improve? Can you make changes? Can you add services that you provide to them? I'll give you a great example. There's a company that I know that used to do laundry for the casinos. And he just started looking at the laundry. Casinos would throw it after a while because they're no longer good to use it. So he came up with an idea, hey, why don't I convert these laundry, which are sheets, towels, into rags that they can be used by their cleaners? Business pop. And guess what? That is his main business now. He doesn't even do laundry anymore for the casino. He just converts all of these used linen and towels into rags for the casinos. Pay attention to your competitors and see the different things that they're doing. Maybe you can incorporate that to some of the things that you're doing. Now, this will ensure knowing your target market will ensure continued profits, retention, and growth. Because, of course, you're keeping them happy. Number two, provide excellent customer service. As you grow, make sure that your customer does not change pretty much. Your service, to your customer does not change. Because sometimes, when we grow, we lose sight of what got us there. Or sometimes it gets too big to handle. Try your best not to let that happen. You got to continue to make your clients happy. Ensure that your structure is solid to handle the growth without sacrificing customer service. I get this a lot. Sonny, I really want to do business with the casinos, or maybe a government entity, the airport. The problem is sometimes when we get that contract, you're able to handle one. They're happy. They're very satisfied with what you did. They want to give you more business. Can you handle that? There's nothing worse than you taking a job saying, yeah, no problem, I can handle this, and then it turns out you can't. Then you lose that customer. Okay? Excellent service leads to referrals from your current clients, which are the most valuable. Referrals is the best. I hate cold calling, but I know a lot of it, especially if you're in sales, it's something that it's needed. You must do it, cold calling. But warm referrals is so much better than cold calls. You already have kind of like a rabbi in the room, as they say. Somebody's already fighting for you. So your foot is halfway in the door already. It's also the best way to combat competition. If you continue to provide customer service, they will not leave you. I used to have a client at the bank, and he was one of my most loyal clients. And another bank would wine and dime him all the time, but he would always tell them, "Sorry, I will not leave Sonny." And it's a great testament, I guess, to the relationship that we have. But I also took care of that relationship, and I always made sure that I provided him with good customer service. Having good customer service extends the value from your current clients. It's easier to sell them other products when they're happy with you. So, for example, if they're a restaurant, right? And I know this is a tough example, but if they come up with a brand new line or something new, or even a second location, it's so much easier for you to try the new line or eat at the second restaurant because you already know them and you love what they do. Number 3, get organized. Once you open your business and you're running, you will learn that there are different challenges. So make sure you address all of those challenges. Create a structure to ensure that your business is running at its most efficient. Make changes that so the company will be more efficient. For example, create checklists, to-do list, inspect what you expect. I love that saying. If you don't want delays, make sure your shipping is great. The people that does your shipping is good. Example, there's a place in town that relies heavily on shipping, and they've had a few delays by using not direct shipment, like a UPS mail shop, but they're not really UPS mail shop. Sometimes when you go there, there's a delay of a day if you get there after a certain time because the delivery had come already. Where it's important for their product to get to the other place, so they learn they have to use the actual UPS store or the actual FedEx store. So make sure that happens. Pay attention to details and avoid doing same mistakes twice. You should always learn from your mistakes. And if you don't learn from a mistake, then that's not a good thing. Number 4, keep detailed and accurate records and financials. This is huge. All successful businesses keep clean records and financials. This will allow you to know where your business is financially at all times, so you are prepared on what the company can and cannot do. For example, if there's an expansion opportunity, can you handle it or can't you? Know your limitations, kind of, right? Know if you can handle a contract. A good example would be construction companies. If you're, again, a casino, if you're working for the casino and they hire you, can you handle that? That's very, very important. Another reason for that is when you need loans, you need to have good financials. I'll give you an example, and this is just a universal example, not of any particular company, but a lot of businesses, of course, you want to pay lower taxes, so you increase the expenses pretty much on your financials. The bad thing by doing that is your income is smaller. So when it comes time to borrow money, even though you are making more, they can only go by what they see in your tax return, which is lower income. Another example is you will never know when you need programs from the government when things come up. The best example I can give you in this would be during the pandemic. During the pandemic, when I was still with the Asian Chamber of Commerce, one of the things that we did was we tried to look for different resources for our members to help them. So there was one that we found through Workforce Connections, and what they did was they paid half of the employee's salary for 8 weeks, up to 5 employees per business. Great program, big help to a lot of companies. So when we rolled it out to our members, some were not able to participate because they did not have the paperwork that was required. And that was it. By the time they got it done, it was too late. They have already picked people. So always have good financials, good paperwork ready, because you never know when you need it. Number 5, understand risks and rewards. You know, once in a while, you need to take calculated risks to grow. I mean, we know that. So, but understanding it and not taking such a big of a risk, unless you are a real risk taker, might be better. Always ask, what is the con or the downside? What's the worst case scenario, and can you handle that scenario? Understand timing. When do you make the move? For example, right now, there's such a big need for trucking and logistics. So if you open a business now in trucking business, more than likely you will be successful. It's such in demand. Okay, we've got 4 more to go, or 5 more to go. Let's take a quick break. When I come back, let's finish up these tips, and then we'll get to our guest. We'll be right back.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
All right, welcome back. Let's finish this up. I'm so excited so we can get to our guest. Number 6, stay focused and patient. Remember the saying, Rome was not built in one day. So is your business. I told you last week, the average time before a new business starts being profitable is 2 to 3 years. So depending on the industry as well, and depending on the timing. I know of a company who just blossomed right away when they opened because of COVID. They're a COVID testing company. So that's a little bit of a one-off. But normally it takes 2 to 3 years to become more profitable. Have short-term goals and long-term goals. So you do have wins along the way and not just a long-term goal thinking. So it's always good to have wins because it's good for the morale. And not only that, you can see that you're improving. You're hitting your smaller goals, going towards your big goal. Number 7, prepare to make sacrifices. Have the mindset that you will need to make sacrifices for your business. Remember, it's a 24/7 commitment. You are going to miss vacations. You're going to miss dates. You're going to miss events depending on the need. Do the work yourself. Remember, I had William from Shuttle Med a few weeks ago. When they first started, they were the ones driving the vans. Remember, long hours and financial sacrifices. I have another friend. She's a lady, and she's in the tour business pretty much. And I don't know if you know this, but drivers are required to drive certain amount of hours during the day. Once they've hit that, they have to stop no matter where they're at. And so sometimes their tour drivers get stopped as soon as they let their passengers down at the strip. So the owner itself will pick up the bus, take it, and clean the whole bus. So think about this little lady, little Asian lady, up in the roof of a bus washing it. So it's crazy, but those are the sacrifices that you do when you own your business. Be consistent. Number 8, do what you say that you will do. It's a way to develop trust and credibility between your business and your client. If you say that this is how much you will charge them for the product or the service that you did, then that's what you do it. You don't change the price on them, for example. You don't take shortcuts. You have to make sure that you meet or exceed their expectations. I'm going to give you a good example on this one, actually, and this you can always find. So this is a public information. It's United Airlines. What happened with United is they've always said that they're great with their customer service, right? They're the best. Well, what happened one time was they had an artist come aboard, and they were insisting in checking in his expensive guitar. So you might have heard of the story because it's a very popular one. United made him check in his guitar. They promised that it was going to be safe. Well, guess what? They broke the guitar. And instead of helping the client and basically reimbursing him for the guitar or whatever needed to be done to fix the situation, they held him off. They gave him the runaround. So the client wrote a jingle about how United breaks guitars. And you could still look it up. It's been viewed over 10 million times, I believe. It was one of the biggest hits in YouTube. And United breaks guitars. It was a disaster. It was a nightmare. They had to come out publicly. Those are the things that can happen if you don't do what you say you do. That's why it's important to do what you say you do and take care of the client if something happens. You know what they say, one unhappy client will tell minimum 16 others. So you don't want that. Number 9, hire and develop great people. Create a culture. Know how your model employee looks like. Do they fit the culture that you built? Make sure you have a diverse company. You can reach a bigger market when your company is diverse. Make sure they're empowered. That's how you build leadership, right? Allow them to make decisions as well. Help them grow with the company. We have another guest about 2 weeks from now who's a big believer in that. And I'm going to wait until you tell the story, but she's got a great program on what she does for her employees. Give them the proper training. You cannot get mad at an employee who doesn't do the right thing, but you never train them to do the right thing. So make sure you give them the proper training. Allow them to grow. Have their best interest at heart. Number 10, network and give back to the community. Create the right partnerships. This could be with community partners, your vendors, financial people. These relationships can lead to more opportunities, both to grow and help other people. It can also lead to more clients, insights in the trends, and best practices. In the chamber, for example, I love working with the other chambers because, funny enough, each chamber, Asian versus Latin versus the urban chamber or the Vegas chamber, all of us had different issues. For example, for the Asian community, it was actually translation services. When you think about it, Asians, 48 different languages. Even if you go with the top 5, that's a lot of different languages. And they don't offer all of that. I mean, it's more than just translating it in paper. It's translating the process. So it took them a while to understand why it was such an important thing for us, especially during the PPP program. So now they are starting to translate different things like the roadmap that I've been doing or different videos in our languages, Tagalog and Korean to start. Urban Chamber, they wanted more access to capital. Latin Chamber had a different issue. So it's so much fun. And then when you build that relationship, you guys can help each other out, which is awesome. Doctors, for example, they form coalitions so they can exchange best practices. They can exchange trends or issues that they're seeing, and they can make things better together. Be a company that is socially responsible. I cannot tell you what the benefits of being socially responsible is. It's not only great for your PR, it's great for business. All right, so that's the top 10, but I'll give you a bonus one. Always do the right thing. Remember, you cannot get in trouble by doing the right thing, especially in business. Wrong move can lead to bad PR, loss of money, or worse, trouble with the law. Example is having clean financials. That's always great. You never have to worry about the IRS auditing you. Nobody wants to be audited by the IRS, so that's the best example I can think of. But another one would be restaurants. I'm sure you've heard all about dirty dining. Nobody wants to ever be there, right? So what's the worst thing that can happen if you get into dirty dining? It's the cleanliness, or if you have insects or rodents. So make sure you hire the best pest company out there, and don't cut corners when it comes to that, so that you'll never get featured. So there you go. So those are some of the tips to ensure that your business is successful. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to meet our first successful business owner for the month. We'll be right back.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
All right, welcome back. So we did tape this segment at a different time. I am so excited. It's April. It's the first Monday of April, so that means we're going to go through our segment, meeting successful business owners. And like I said earlier, it's very important if you're new in business or just starting out. In order to be successful, learn from successful people. So we've got our first guest. I'm so honored. It's going to be attorney Visia Calderon, owner of Calderon Law. Visia is an immigration attorney who has extensive experience in representing individuals, small businesses, and multinational companies before trial and appellate courts and various administrative agencies. She has been practicing law now for over 13 years. But check this out. Before that, she was a senior associate at a large firm in Manila, director for the Office of the President of the Philippines, administrator of a medical center, and editor-in-chief of a media group. Wow. I mean, talk about being well-rounded. Geez. Okay. So I will let her tell you more about her company. Welcome, Visia. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Sonny. I'm very honored to be here. Thanks for inviting me. As Sonny has said, I'm an immigration attorney based here in Las Vegas. I had Calderon Law Immigration. My work consists of purely immigration. It's something that I'm very passionate about. So we do a lot of family-based cases, green card cases, citizenship. I do deportation defense as well. I assist businesses in hiring workers from abroad, bringing in workers from different countries, investors in investing in the United States, all of those that are related to immigration.
Awesome. Now, just recently, Visia was honored by NAFA as one of the honorees for Women's History Month. And she had a great story about how she started her business or what inspired her. So I'm going to ask her now. Visia, what inspired you to open your own business?
Oh, it's really funny. Well, first off is I come from a family of business-minded individuals. My mother is a pharmacist by profession, but she opened up her gas station, construction company. My dad was active in farming as well as in the agricultural business as well as my other siblings. I have 7 siblings. Did I want to open up a business? I knew I wanted to be a boss. So, as I said before, but I didn't want to be a doctor. I was kind of traditional on what are the bosses in the community were. I was from a small town in the Philippines. I didn't want to be a doctor because I was so scared of blood. I didn't want to work in the construction industry because I didn't like the dirt. And at that time, I felt like, oh, okay, I can be a boss by becoming a lawyer. So that's why I pursued law. But becoming opening my own business did not go easy. I start as you said earlier, Sonny. I worked for the big firms for over 10 years in the Philippines. But I felt all along, even during those times that I was working for the big firms, I had all of the challenge. I had the money. We were being paid well, but I wanted to have my own firm. And that was a dream that I kept on, that was in my mind all the time, and that I eventually pursued when I opened my firm here in Las Vegas.
That's amazing. We've talked about following your dreams several times in the show and never letting it go, especially owning your own business, which is great. Give us just a little insight on your journey in starting that business. I mean, was it always, wow, okay, open, it's great? Or I'm sure you had to make sacrifices along the way. Can you give us examples of things that you had to go through?
Yeah, absolutely. I think opening any business or starting out any venture at all to follow your dreams, whatever it is, entails, it's always not easy, and it will always entail sacrifices. For my part, I think the one major motivating factor for me was the mindset that failure is not an option. It was a big motivating factor.
Wow.
So when the opportunity to come to the United States came, I took the California bar. At that time, I've been a lawyer for more than 10 years, so retention of all the things that I had to learn was difficult. I remember sending my son to the Philippines just so I can concentrate on taking the bar and reviewing for the bar. And it took them 2 years to issue my license because aside from grading it and doing all of the background investigations with my professors and former employers, that process was just really nerve-wracking. And during those 2 years, I had my mind set on passing the bar and opening up my own firm. But I had to make do with my time during that time. So that was when I did help my brother. He's a doctor here in town in his practice. I became an administrator, a janitor, a receptionist in his medical practice. All of the works. I would mop floors and all of that. I remember applying or looking at positions in Domino's Pizza just to be able to keep myself busy, because at that time I knew that I had to learn a lot of things. What other sacrifices, what other things did I do? There was, I think, in any business at the startup, aside from the challenges about money, resources, and the people that can help you along the way, there is also that issue of the mental side. You have to deal with uncertainties, the fears, anger. In my case, I'll be honest with you, I was dealing with a lot of pride issues as well. I could not go back. I did not want to go back to the Philippines without having accomplished anything. And I just proceeded from there.
Wow. I can relate. I can definitely relate to that. So, yeah, hearing people's stories and how they started their business is amazing to me, especially learning what kind of sacrifices you had to go through. I think it's what really attracted me to learning more or getting more involved with business owners is knowing that story. It motivates me. It gives me inspiration. So that's a great story. Thank you for sharing that with me. Quick question. So, California, you took the bar. Is there reciprocity between California and Nevada, or did you have to take it again here?
No, I was originally thinking of taking there's no reciprocity.
Oh, okay.
I took the California bar thinking that I was going to practice litigation in California, but I didn't want to deal with the traffic there.
Yeah.
So I stayed in Las Vegas.
Okay.
Now, immigration being federal, I can practice anywhere in the United States.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's why I decided to not take it anymore. There are still some times when I think about taking it just for kicks.
Yeah.
But I just don't know where I will find the time to review and study for it. And I don't think my pride will be able to take it if I flunk it.
Plus, why go through that? But it's funny you say that. That's actually one of the main reasons why I moved out here too. I used to live in California, and gosh, my one-way commute to work is an hour and a half.
Yes.
It's crazy.
Yes.
Tell us, how have you maintained your success, and have you made adjustments along the way?
Yes. I'm not sure how. Well, let me define success to me for me first. It
Sure.
means, well, generally it means accomplishing your aim or whatever it is that your goal is in life. But I measure my aims, I adjust my aims and my goals as things happen. So I measure success or my business as a tool to continue to work for my goals in my life. I don't know if I have reached that point where I can say I am successful, because every day is a journey. And what are my goals? I mean, if you don't mind me saying, I mean, I want, number one is my son. I want him to grow up as a kind-hearted, loving, God-fearing individual who can be proud of me, not just now when he's still a child, and even after I'm gone in this world. I want my family to be proud of me. I want to be able to make a difference in not just in my life or the people around me, but the people that I am helping in their immigration journey. Every single day I help individuals be reunited with their families from abroad, stop their deportation, or live the American dream. And I don't aim for fame. I just want to be able to do those for the people that I come across with. And that, every single case that I encounter and that I get those little goals is a success for me. I guess.
Awesome. No, those are great goals. How old's your son?
He's 15.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
yes.
Is he in high school?
Yes, sophomore, and he just got accepted as a lifeguard in Red Rock. So I'm still
Right.
going through that adjustment process. I'm just comforted by the fact that we'll get 20% discount in the restaurants there.
That sounds good. It's definitely a very nice hotel. At this point, what keeps you going? I mean, you're being humble, but you've been very successful. What keeps you going?
I still have a lot of things that I want to accomplish. When I go back to opening my business, when I was a child, I wanted to be a boss. I am a boss of me right now only. I want to be able to grow my firm, be able to hire other attorneys who share the same values and goals as I do, who want to help the immigrant community in the United States. So that is one of the things that I think I am continuously working at. What else? I mean, every single day that the clients come and talk about new cases, every immigration client that comes my way is always an individual story.
I'm sure.
Every client has a story, and those my clients' goals, my own goals, usually intersect in such a way that they are, they converge, and we have mutual goals, and those are the things that keep me going.
Thank you. And I just wanted the audience to know as well. I want to thank you. Visia has been really trying to help our Filipino teachers here to be able to stay here permanently. And I know she's done a lot of work, and she's still continuing to do work for them. So I do want to thank her for that. I do want to ask you, what advice would you give to young entrepreneurs who are looking to open their own business or follow their dreams?
Well, the first, I mean, I'm sure they hear this a lot, to just work for it and don't be afraid to start. But it really is what drove me to do things. I was from the very beginning just shooting things from the hip, but you just follow your gut. There was one motto that I've written down when I was reviewing for the bar, and it says, and I still have that little piece of paper that says, "Success is when luck and perseverance meet." So we can't just rely on what fate has stored for us. We need to combine it with hard work and I guess destiny.
Yeah.
But I believe truly that it's more perseverance.
Wow. And believe me, I have so much respect for people who take that leap to start their own business. For the longest time, I was very afraid. Okay, I don't want to lose. Mm-hmm. But then when you get that fear over, it gets better.
True. And I guess I just want to mention that being in the United States gives you a lot more opportunities. I mean, I practice in the Philippines. I don't know if I will be able to reach the level of practice that I have, or success that I have here now if I remain there. I love our country, but I just feel like small entrepreneurs or those who are starting out have a lot of opportunities here in the United States, and it's just a matter of us tapping into them. Let's take advantage of all of those, because not a lot of people in other parts of the world have those.
I agree. Cannot agree with you more. My dad used to tell me when I was, because I would always ask him, "Dad, why are we moving? I mean, we're okay here, right, in the Philippines?" And he would always just tell me, "Someday, son, you'll thank me." And believe me, Visia, I have not stopped thanking him.
Yes.
Any parting words for our audience?
Well, I just wanted to say that, I would, compared to my dreams that I wanted to be a boss, I got to be my own boss, but it's been a hard one, but worth it. My work is not yet done. Right now, immigration is very, very close to my heart, obviously. I'm an immigrant myself, and every single day I meet people who have immigration issues. The immigration is the link that ties and divides us as a community. And we just have to empower everyone through educating them, giving them the status and ability to be part of this community here in the United States. We're advocating for immigration reform. I don't know what kind of role my practice will play or will face in the future, but I'm just super excited to be here in the United States, be able to do what I love doing the most.
Well, you have the perfect timing. Nevada is so dependent on, especially Filipinos nowadays. We're the largest Asian community here, and we've become really helpful, especially in healthcare and education.
Yes.
A lot of us has to do with them migrating here. So you're definitely in the right city.
Yes. Yeah, I'm thankful.
Visia, I appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you so much. Really, it's an honor to have you here. Would you like to tell the audience how to reach you if they need immigration?
Well, my office is here in Las Vegas. Just call 702-932-7656 or just look us up. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We're everywhere.
All right. Thank you so much. That is our show for tonight. We'll see you next Monday. Thank you for listening in. Thank you, Visia.
Thank you.